Hi, my name is Christina Kimmel, and I chose the ESSA Act. The article that I read was What We've Been Missing by Michelle Watson. She wrote it December of 2019. So what does the Act stand for? Back in 2015, President Obama presented the Every Student Succeeds Act. In order to improve the act President Bush passed back in 2001, which was the No Child Left Behind Act. The act is just a federal law for K-12 students, and his hope was just to improve overall student growth. So there are a few differences between the two acts that we're going to talk about. So the No Child Left Behind Act had raised concerns because it wasn't showing student growth. It was just showing a narrow-minded definition of proficiency, not showing progress students were making in other areas of learning. It also showed limited measure of student performance, so it just wasn't showing enough information to base a student off where they needed to be in school, whether they should be held back or let on. Where the Every Student Succeeds Act, it's renewing the government's commitment to equal opportunity for all of its students. And it's also making sure that the states have more accountability for all their students, and it's just an overall improvement. 48 states told Obama's administrations back in 2015 that they needed improvement and measure of growth more accurately. So Obama's goal was just to improve showing students growth. So Michelle Watson uses a fifth grader analogy in her article. She says that a fifth grade student could be reading at a second grade level and work their way all the way up to a fourth grade level in 1 year. But when it comes around to taking that state test, they do not show any progress and are shown have not made any progress. While the student has worked hard and made a lot of progress, the state test just shows that they have not, and all the information that they do have is the bottom of the iceberg because it is gone unseen, where the top of the iceberg is where they are shown to be insufficient in fifth grade. And the same goes for students that exceed their grade level. So a fifth grade student could ace their state test and have more information to give, but it won't show that they've actually exceeded maybe a sixth grade reading level or other. So how it affects both students is that the information that they are either gaining or not gaining lies beneath the water surface, the bottom of the iceberg, however you want to see it. Some of the problems and solutions that were talked about in the article were adopting assessments that incorporate standards for multiple grade levels. So maybe a way that they could fix it is incorporating different grades to the test, making it a bigger span. That's something that is already in the works. Another thing that is just an idea that she had in the article is the fifth indicator, defined by Every Student Succeed Act as a measure of school quality and student success selected by the states. So this is state mandated, not nationally. So what they would basically do is just take the adaptive assessments that already exist and just incorporate them with other assessments, trying to make it the best they can. Another thing that I personally agree with is innovative assessment waivers. So these are waivers that went out to 7 different states as just an idea. Then what they could do is they could come up with their own testing for their state, submit it, maybe get it approved, and see if it would help with student growth. So 4 states have already gotten approval for their testing, and Georgia being the one with the most progress and most it looks the most well thought out. Their idea is basically just taking the testing and expanding the grade levels. So putting multiple grade levels into one test to see where a student stands and how they're doing. So my thoughts on the whole thing is that I feel students should be tested in larger, with more information. My thoughts are basically, I just want students to be able to feel less stressed when they're taking the test, and I want them to be able to be tested where they stand. So if a student is at a 3rd grade level, I wish they could be tested from anywhere from 1st to like a 4th grade or a 5th grade level, because I feel that teachers are working really hard in the classrooms to make sure all their students are on the right page, but some students are just falling behind, and whether that's from a teacher prior or they're just not getting it, I wish that it wouldn't fall back on the teachers or even the school, and I'm hoping that progress can be made. So a few questions I have to leave with you is, one, if you had the power to get rid of state testing, would you? But if you did, what would you replace it with? Like, how would you measure growth in schools? Number 2 is, do you agree or disagree with innovative assessment waivers? Would you change anything about them? So I have this question because personally I believe that the innovative waivers are probably our best bet. That's what I feel personally, but I just want to know your thoughts on them and if you would change anything about them. So thank you for your time and have a good day.